now I want to get into answering or responding to the most common arguments in favor of biblical doctrine, discernment, salvation, right? Lordship, salvation, twin sister. This is how people, including Baptists, I've heard defend this Calvinistic kind of Lordship, salvation thing. And I've been very surprised because after reading these books by free grace theologians or free grace people that speak against Lordship, salvation, such as against James White, against John MacArthur, a lot of these books have answers to these verses. These people have answers. I've even found some answers by myself because it's just so obvious. For example, and I was surprised to hear John 10, 4 through 5. Let's go to John 10, 4 through 5. John 10, it says, "And when he putteth forth his own sheep, he goeth before them, and the sheep follow him, for they know his voice. And a stranger will they not follow." So that's the point. This is what it says. A stranger will they not follow. So if this weird doctrine comes up, and if you go after it, well, you're not really safe because a stranger will they not follow. And they repeat it over and over. And I've heard pastors, preachers, it repeated over and over and over and over and over and over. I've been attacked over this for my position, which is free grace. And they use John 10, 4, 5. But this is a stupid part about that. That if you're willing to accept John 10, 4, John 10, 5, which says, "And a stranger will they not follow," and say, they will not follow another religion. They will not follow the oneness heresy. They will not follow atheism. They will not follow after other gods or whatever. Well, then you better be ready to bite the bullet and accept verse 4. Not just verse 5. Verse 4 and 5 are together. And verse 4 says, "And the sheep follow him." And the sheep follow him. That is the most standard Lordship salvation defense ever. They say, well, if you're really a believer, you're going to follow him. So if you're ready to accept, well, they're not going to follow a stranger, well, you better accept, well, a real believer is going to follow Jesus. You're going to follow him. But it's one of the most basic anti-Lordship salvation stances that says you don't have to follow Jesus to be saved. All you have to do is believe on the Lord Jesus Christ. You know, they say, well, but of course, if you really believe, you're going to follow him. Well, that's exactly what we're always talking against. So don't tell me, "And a stranger will not follow," does apply, but verse 4 doesn't. That makes no sense whatsoever. And of course, the Bible doesn't contradict itself. So if we already have case after case in the Bible, in the Old Testament, the New Testament, of people like Solomon, people like Saul, who were believers and then fell away, then you got to get your stories right. You got to make all the Bible merge. For example, in Luke chapter 8, verse 12, it talks about how all you have to do is believe, right? Luke chapter 8, verse 12, on the parable of the sower and all that. And in Luke chapter 8, verse 13, it says that some people believe for a while and then they fall away. Again, Jesus is describing a person who believes, so therefore they're saved. But then they believe for a while and then they fall away. Into what? I don't know. As far as for the parable's sake, it doesn't matter. He fell away. He fell after other gods. He fell after modalism. He fell after whatever. Now, I'm not for any of these heresies, but I'm just saying clearly, you can fall away and still be saved. That's it. I don't support any of these false doctrines. I don't support worshiping other gods. I just against the concept of saying that if you fall away, therefore you're not saved. I'm completely against it. And that's what this is all about. So you got to reconcile the Bible. And again, this is just a standard Lordship salvation defense. So I'm surprised that people in the IFB have been using this type of garbage defense. So let's go to the next one.